name is Jenny Bernstein, and I'm going over the Disposition to Teach video presentation. Um, so basically, I'm going to go through each question and explain a little bit about myself. What disposition do you possess and will make you be a successful teacher? So basically, I've been working in the education system for over 10 years. Although my job is not in the classroom, I am able to still engage in students' lives. Working as the assistant to the athletic director, it is my job to ensure that the athletic department runs smoothly. That means registering students, scheduling all events, ordering buses, and many other tasks. The roles that will qualify me to be able to use in the classroom as a good teacher include good communication skills, listening, collaborating, adaptability, empathy, and patience for others. The characteristics of being an effective teacher includes engaging in the classroom presence, value in real world learning, exchanging of all the best practices, and lifelong of learning. So I feel like continuing your education is always an important task. I know at my school, there's so many teachers that are like always continuing their education. I know a few that have got their doctorate, and it's super inspiring to other teachers when, they see other people and that, going back to further their education. Teachers must also have a strong understanding of this subject matter in order to be able to teach well in the classroom. That way they can answer any questions that may come up and offer an explanation for those questions. And be able to adapt to students. It is important to make things fun for students. That way they will be able to engage in the lessons. No one wants to go in and read a book and just be like, bleh. They want to be able, you want to be able to engage with your students, and you want to be able to analyze what your students are needing. Every student is different, and so being adaptable is probably the biggest thing that education struggles with right now, because if we all know with COVID, we've had to be adaptable. And with that being said, it's super tiring because you're always having to change what you're doing. One day you may be home, one day you may, be in person. And so you have to be willing to be adaptable in that situation. What disposition do I need to do to work on this? In the classroom, I guess my biggest thing for me is my self-confidence. Will be my biggest challenge for the first year of teaching. I have a bad habit of negative self-talk. I say so many times to myself that I'm not smart enough to do this job. And I've been told so many times that I have everything to be able to do this job. So why do I self-talk myself out of something like this when I know I'm smart enough? Although I have reasons to say that about myself, my biggest fear is to fail. But we all know it's okay to make mistakes as long as we learn from them and growing my mindset isn't just for me, it's also for the kids and the students that I'm teaching. Restructuring myself and my beliefs, it is okay to fail, as it is an opportunity to learn, and we'll create self-esteem within yourself. I can use my experiences in my classroom to my advantage. The following advice I would give to my students is to learn from your mistakes. As with all professions, growing and improving takes effort. The ability to bounce back from adversity and keep persistent with my own passion when taking things through one's traits and being highly successful individual. Focusing on positive, collaborating, small victories, and avoiding self-doubt are all the growth mindset strategies that I need to work on. Um, and I can, once I have those abilities, I'm able to translate that and have that confidence for my students. So, number 3, what attributes should a professional educator have, and how should they behave? What standard guidelines, thinking, and actions? So, as a professional educator, you should always be you're always in the spotlight to the public eye, which means you always want to be as professional as you can, knowing that they can turn anything against you out of context, basically. I feel like it's very important to professionals in the public eye to watch what they put on, like, social media sites. I've seen one too many times people, educators putting stuff on websites that, kids can just get on, and that's just not a good thing. So to me, keeping it clean is always the best way. Being in the public eye, you have to have strong characteristic traits. This is also shown as respect, honesty, fairness, patience, also in so many other ways. I must make sure that I treat everyone and all of my students with respect and kindness without showing any favoritism or prejudice. Being transparent with my students and parents, both in and out of the classroom, is so important. As educators have the code of ethics, those are things that we should know front and back, as far as, putting the student first, showing commitment on the job, promoting and upholding healthy relationships, never stop learning, and social media to me is a career breaker if used inappropriately. Question 4, how might teacher disposition positively or negatively influence the psychological and moral development of adolescents? Teachers are definitely great shapers of children and influencing what and how they will be to the future. Teachers who are able to inspire and support and provide appropriate care for their students certainly cause a great impact in their lives. For that to happen, it is important that teachers have a high professional and ethic standard, abilities to not only provide knowledge but to guide the children on how, and being able to ask the right questions to develop their skills needed to succeed in life is a key factor schools would like all teachers to have. It is correct to say that good teachers have profound, lasting impact in their students' lives and added value to them, helping their kids succeed, getting into good universities, and becoming successful. Due to such great influence on our child's future, parents do carefully look into the school's curriculum, and like for our school, there's 2 schools in the same city that are very close, and we're very competitive. So when we do our showcase, parents are looking, what clubs are offered, what after school, how are the sports there. They're always looking at like how the school is functioning. Do they have a good leader? Do they have a good principal? All of those things come into play when parents are making these decisions to have their kids come to school. Basically, teachers who are able to offer something beyond their subject can even help for the future. Nowadays, schools emphasize extracurricular activities, and it's normal. It's awesome when you see teachers, coaching. Like I coach softball, or doing like scorekeeping at a basketball game. The students really engage in their classroom if they see that their teacher is going to be engaged in what they like to do. So to me, that's a super important thing. At the end of the day, teachers are a very important part of a child's education and what they become when they grow up. Teaching is rewarding and challenging, but is also, at the end of the day, I feel like it's totally worth it. Question 5, how would I uphold expectations and professional, including code of conduct, ethics, professional standard, relevant to policies? So basically, working in the school for 10 years, I believe I already have built up those qualities. I always have been professional around staff and students. When I first started in my job, my boss told me this one thing that stuck with me for a long time, is keep your job. To keep your job in education, you need to leave out romance and finance in your job. I have seen so many times where people get caught up in situations that have caused them to lose their job. And I'm a very professional person and believe, knowing my proper boundaries, I know I will be a great educator. As I said, I coached softball for 6 years, and I'm still in contact with students, and the relationships that I've built with these students. They play softball for 4 years. We spend so many hours together. There's so many girls on the team that we do a study hall, and so we do half practice and then study hall and stuff like that. So they're students first, athletes second. And then moving on to question 6, how would I promote healthy moral developments with a student in a future classroom? So in order to promote a healthy moral development with their students in the future is to have a welcoming place for the students that they can feel safe within the classroom and their surroundings. It's okay to have fun in the classroom. Having groups of activities and spending time to build up in the classroom and community and discussing how students are more alike than different. Everyone has their way of, someone's shy, someone's not. But it also as a teacher, you need to be able to set clear behavior expectations from the first day of school and stick with them throughout the year.